Hello, everyone. This is Ryan, the executive manager of BluedogProductions, back for another Google Plus live show today. This is episode 7. Yes, episode 7. And 2 weeks ago, which actually feels like forever, was episode 6. And we have someone new with us today. Hello, James.
Hello, Ryan.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. How are you?
I am perfectly fine. So, yeah, this was suggested after well, 2 weeks ago show. After that show, it was suggested that we bring you onto the show just to like change
hmm
things up a little bit and see how it goes. Because honestly, we feel that 2 weeks ago the show wasn't very good. To be honest, that was actually me and Reese. Now, by no means is Reese probably not going to listen to the show. He actually is going to listen to the show because
Ah,
it's probably better for him to do that. In fact, he might already be listening very shortly. I can actually see who's listening and when they're listening because it lets me know how many people are listening. But as always, this show will be available on demand on my channel afterwards because that's how Google likes to do everything. It all kind of uploads itself. Although the actual thumbnail picture will be a little bit different because, of course, we haven't got Reese with us, we've got you with us.
you. We've got you.
Yeah, you. We've got
Yeah.
you. You are James, and what is your role in Blue Dog Productions?
I am team representative, or one of the team representatives for BluedogProductions.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yes.
The other representative is obviously Alana.
Yeah. Which maybe at some point that might be possible to have her on as well. Maybe.
Yeah. At some point. Yeah.
Maybe that might work. I mean, I think this is a little bit different having you on the show as compared to Reese because this is episode 7 now, and I think it just adds that little bit of a difference to the show having you on here.
Yeah. It's good to change things up sometimes in shows and change it and give the setting a bit of a different feel, so to speak. Because then it keeps it entertaining for everyone who listens and watches, and everyone gets a feel for other people then in the company as well.
Yeah. Okay, so as always, I say this all the time at the start of every show, and I'm going to say it again. So there's 3 types of shows we can do. We can either do a 30, a 50, or a 60-minute show, and today we are going to be doing a 50-minute show. We got 3 topics to talk about, and actually we are going to be revisiting one of those topics that we tried discussing 2 weeks ago. We're going to revisit that one. Although we're also going to talk a little bit about something a bit more interesting today. So we're going to be talking about, well, we're going to be revisiting marketing. We're going to be talking about this year in general for Blue Dog Productions, hopes, plans, what we're planning on doing, projects, maybe events. And we're also going to be talking about our new short film, which I'm sure that could go on for quite a while.
Yeah.
That could go on for quite a while. As always, we're not going to be playing any copyright music in this show. This goes straight onto my channel afterwards. So, of course, everything we say in this show has to be ours and ours only. And of course, as I am a partner, I have to keep my community guidelines for this video kind of set. So that's why I sent you that document. It said on that document I sent you general precautions and legal is what I sent.
Yes, it does. It's all there. It's all there in my face,
That's
and I have read
basically
it.
Yeah, that's basically the things I can't do, so to say. That's what I can't do because otherwise, I get a copyright strike or something like that, and I don't want that, do we? We don't want that.
Yeah, we really don't want that. No.
Okay, so as always, this show is live right now. You can go to Google. This is like literally a guess now, but you can go to google.com/plus. That is the symbol plus Blue Dog Productions, and just look for the latest event on there. And as always, you can watch it on demand afterwards if you so wish to watch it on demand, or of course if you miss the live show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are just over a minute early, and I think we're gonna kind of get straight into this here because otherwise, it could end up going on. So we're gonna start off by talking about our new short film that we're releasing this year, which I'm quite excited about. What are you excited for that?
Oh yeah, definitely excited. I had a massive grin appear on my face just as you mentioned it.
Really?
Yeah, really big grin. I honestly cannot wait to do this production. It's going to be really, really good fun. I feel that everyone taking part is going to enjoy it, and We're all going to have a good vibe there while we're recording, and it's going to be really good fun. I think. Well, how long are we actually planning on? I think we were saying like a day or two, wasn't it?
Well,
Two
we're
days
gonna
maximum.
shoot it all in one day. That's the plan. We're gonna shoot it all in one day. We've never actually ever had the need to shoot in more than one day. I mean, like, if there's anything drastically wrong or something needs changing, then we will obviously use up another day where possible. But in general, I think one day, get it through in a day. Usually they last, like, usually the shooting is quite long, and from experience with Flashback 2 especially, it tends to get quite tiring and exhausting, and sometimes it can be a little bit painful because like it's generally quite hot as well. I mean, Flashback 2, that was a lot worse than Flashback 1 because
Mm.
Flashback 2 it was further into the summer. You see, when we're doing our new short film now, it will be around the beginning or middle of spring, so it will be a little bit cooler, which hopefully will make it all a little bit better. But by no means is it going to be easy. It's going to go on for probably 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours of continuous shooting. It's going to be quite long.
Yeah,
You're up
it
for
is
it.
going to be. It is going to be a long, long recording day, but I think, like I said, it's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to playing this part. I think it's a different part. You don't normally see this type of part in a film, do you?
No, you don't. You don't normally see this type of part. And in some ways, I know Reese mentioned this in a few shows back. I think it was the last show actually. It sounds a little bit like Flashback in some ways in terms of the general storyline of it. And I think some parts of it do link to Flashback, like some basic concepts. But I think overall, the entire set, the location is all going to be different. And another thing is that the location we're filming at is actually a new location. It's never been filmed on Blue Dog Productions, not in a short film like this anyway. I know,
Mm.
I think 2 or 3, I think 3 years ago now, we was going to film a short film called The Assassin, which sadly was let down after 8 months of planning by someone, and that didn't go ahead. But that was also going to be filmed in where we're filming this one. So, what is your part then? I mean, I want to release a few things about this film, but I don't want to release too much. So, what is your part?
I obviously play the main character.
What's the
I'll give
character's
this
name?
away. Yeah, I'll give this away. His name is Mason. It's going to be basically. It's quite a simple setting. It's quite.
James, I may have just lost you. We may have just lost James for a
There
few
are
seconds.
aspects
Oh,
to
there you
Mission
are.
2.
James, we lost you for a little bit there.
Nah. Oh, oh dear.
I apologise in advance to anyone that
Nah.
what may happen a few times. That wasn't a very bad one. Would you like to repeat
Nah.
what you said?
Basically, what I said was his name is Mason. He obviously, he's very complicated character in a way. You do have to pay attention to some certain little scenes and little things that will happen that'll give you a bit more of an idea into his life and about his character. I won't give too much away about the character now because obviously when we do film it and everything, there are going to be little things hidden in there which you'll have to pay attention for.
I
That
think
will
fair,
obviously.
yeah, I think to be fair, this kind of genre that we're kind of going for, it's kind of an interesting genre. I mean, kind of went into it a little bit with Flashback, kind of the whole psychological element. I mean, there are psychological elements throughout there. I mean, it's not all based on that. There are a few symptoms of that in there. But I think the reason, and this is the second time I've gone with this kind of type of genre before. I think it works quite well, actually.
Hmm.
Uh,
I think it is a really interesting genre to have because it's very like we said, it is a very difficult genre to work with, and it's very difficult to keep it gripping, especially when there's only one character type, main character type
yeah.
thing. Um, so I think there is going to be a lot of points where we are going to be in a sweat trying to work up how we can make it gripping. But I think the script has gone really well.
How
I
do you think the
think
script has actually gone then? What are your
I
thoughts on
think
that?
I like how the script has ended up. I like the final copy. I think it's great. I think it works really well. There are some really good parts. I do think obviously a little bit more could have been done with it, but I mean, due to the fact of college and a lot of other things in between, obviously, Obviously, we had the Bond nominational video, so that took a lot of time out of what we wanted to do.
If you haven't seen
Um,
that video, you can actually go over there and check it out on my channel. Just search for BlueDog916 or BlueDog Productions, and our channel is the one with the BDP logo. Just go onto there and look for the One Coach nomination video. That is our latest video. Go over and check that out.
yeah, it is a really good video, but obviously in doing that, obviously we lost a lot of time and effort to be put into
I think
the script. We obviously did.
Yeah, carry on.
No, obviously I think we did the best that could have possibly been done. It could have been a lot more. I feel like a lot more could have been done with the script. I think if everyone had taken a couple of a bit more time to give ideas, and I think it could have been a lot bigger. But I think what has come out of the end result is fantastic, and I really cannot wait to to get into the location and start filming and start going like script read-throughs and stuff. I think it's going to be really good and fantastic, and I'm going to really enjoy
I've
it.
seen the location, and I think one of the main elements that's going to be that's going to bring it all alive is well, there's two elements I think that's going to bring it all alive, and that is the music that's going to be put into there, and also the general look of the film. Like, do you know how you got film color grading and correction and things like that? That's like what the film looks like. I mean, have you ever seen The Bourne Identity before?
I have. It's a great film, yeah.
It is a great film, yeah, and they kind of give it a little bit of a dull, kind of colder look, and you can kind of notice it when in some films because
Yeah.
it's kind of got that entire tint, so to say, over it. And I think that's what's going to bring it alive. Do you think this
Yeah.
film we're doing now, and if you don't know the name of it, everyone, we're actually calling it Wasteland. Yeah, we're going to call
Why
it.
didn't you show him the new? Why didn't you show him the new? Can you show it on screen, like the new
I
picture from
can't.
it?
No, I
Uh,
can, but it doesn't seem to work as well. I mean, I tried showing everyone the website because halfway through the show at half past we tend to I basically promote our website and I use the screen to do that. And in episode 6, I did it, but it didn't appear on the video. So what I'm gonna do is after this show, I'm actually gonna start promoting the entire thing, put it up on our website, maybe put a few articles about it and kind of get it going a bit, because I think promoting it is going to be quite interesting. I'm hoping it's going to
yeah.
be quite successful.
Well, I feel like it will be a successful short film because it's very different from anything that's ever been done before. I mean, you can look at many short films. Obviously, you did the flashback movies, and they were both very good. Obviously, the first one took a bit of a head of it, I think.
Yeah.
But I do think they were both very good, and they were very different as well. And the fact they were so different, like we were talking about just then, the locations as well were a very important part of it. I think location is a big thing when it comes to films because it's not just about the actors and
It's
the
also
sound.
the location, isn't it? It's also
Yeah, if you don't,
yeah.
if you have the wrong type of setting and the wrong location for what you're trying to do, it's very difficult to get into the film because you think, well, that's not very realistic or that's not believable. But I think the setting we've got for this, as well as the actual
Well,
storyline.
yeah. Well, you haven't actually seen it, have you? Really?
I've seen a couple of photos, obviously, that you've shown me, but I've
What-
never physically been there.
Now, what we're going to do is, me and Reese, what we're going to do is we're going to go down there and we're going to take some photos, some proper photos of it, and upload that to the Facebook group. And, of course, what we'll do is we'll actually upload them to the website as well, and our Facebook community page. We'll upload them on there. So you can actually see, you can basically come along with us, so to say, in the production stages and pre-production stages of this entire film. So it makes you more part of it, you see. And we're hoping to do that within the next 2 or 3 weeks, try to get that part done.
Okay, so I've got a question for you now, Ryan.
Yeah, okay then.
Reading through the script, obviously, I've really enjoyed reading through it. It's a good script. I really love it. But what if I was to ask you, like on the day, if we were there on the day, if I was to want to add maybe bits here and there, would you let that happen, or would you say no? Because
Right,
of
now
time
this is the thing, right?
everything?
This is the thing. And to tell you quite honestly, things change. Now, the script is there as kind of a general guideline that you follow, and we do follow it. And there are things that you have suggested for me to add, but they're not actually in the script, but I still remember what they are. And so things like that will be added. So yes, we will improvise a little bit.
Okay.
Although I think, to be fair, it's kind of one of those things like, when you're shooting, you never actually know what it's going to look like until the
Yeah.
final result, and like until the very end. And you're supposed to get as much footage as you can. And I think one of the main things that we're going to do, focus on first, before anything else, is getting all of the main stuff settled and
Hmm.
focus really on the main script and what is actually written on paper. And then we'll add like little
Yeah.
things in over the top, like you suggested, having like to make the audience feel a little bit more connected with his
Hmm.
symptoms of this mental disability kind of thing he's got,
Hmm.
to actually have like a little medication bottle or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still
Well,
gonna.
I feel like that would be yeah, I feel like that would be a good little thing to add into it because then obviously the audience can go, look at that, and then it's a
Yeah.
bit of a clue then to why certain things happen. I won't give anything away, but why certain things happen. We'll say
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, of course we're gonna go like hopefully add a few other little things in there, but it really all depends
Hmm.
on the day and what it's like. I mean, one of the things we haven't bumped into yet, I mean, I'm hoping March, the end of March is kind of a good time for it, is weather. Like the weather could be really bad,
Yeah.
and that's also another thing that can determine how well the actual short film looks. If it's
Hmm.
really sunny out, of course it's going to be very different to if it's really dull and
Yeah.
cloudy. What kind of look do you
But I
think?
mean,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, but I mean, with this show, I feel like if it's very sunny and we have very good weather, that's a bonus because obviously it goes with the surrounding setting and the idea of what's happened.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if it does rain, it could kind of be used as an advantage. I've got a little bit of a scene in my head which I'll discuss with you at a later date.
What is it? What is it
Um,
really dark and dull and overcast and
well, maybe that could be a setting for a night scene, possibly, if that ever, if that ever came as a
but
possibility, if we had a bit of
but
spare time.
if you look at this entire script as a whole,
Mhm.
what do you think the overall look of for you as an
Mm.
actor and also as the audience? What would you kind of think it should look like? Do you know what I mean by the overall look?
Yeah. Yeah, I think well, reading through it, obviously you don't imagine it tipping down with rain and thunderstorms. You imagine it sort of very hot, very bothered, very scorching sun, very difficult to breathe type of weather, and dehydration and the floor, very dry ground. It's
Yeah.
very much a lot of that. You don't see any rain or anything, so it's very much barren wasteland. Hence the title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I imagine it.
Yeah, okay then. That seems quite fair then. I'm quite looking forward
Mm.
to this. What I'm gonna do a little bit later on is actually upload some images and start getting the like general public to see our title. The actual title of this new short film is going to be called Wasteland, all capital letters, and it's just going to be called that. We're hoping it's going to be kind of the best thing that we're going to do of 2015. I think that's hopefully what the best thing's gonna be.
Yeah. Actually, do you want to tell them actually how we came up with the name Wasteland? Because it was quite a funny. It's quite a funny story.
I can't remember. Do you know that?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I can remember it.
Who actually came up with that name?
Me.
Was it you? It was you.
Yeah, we were myself and you
Yeah.
were having a conversation about names. I listed a couple to you. Said none of them are really hitting me, and I randomly just typed Wasteland, but it was not meant to be in capitals. It was actually just
No.
meant to be in lowercase.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I typed it to you, and you went, "I like it," and I was like, "Well, I didn't mean to put that." You were like, "No, I like it. We're keeping it," and suddenly
Yeah.
that's where it came from. Then you were like, "No, I love it. Keep it."
And after seeing that little logo I made, that kind of title earlier, you seem to like it
Yeah.
even more now.
Yeah, I love that. Wait till the audience sees it.
It's
It is
amazing.
lovely. It's beautiful.
It's amazing how these
Yeah.
ideas and names and things actually come up, isn't it? It's like where the
Mm,
concepts come from and how you can just put it like accidentally type it and then suddenly that's it.
yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how things can just come out of thin air, literally come out of thin air, or just from a mistake. So yeah, it's incredible.
We suggest if you do want to stay up to date with this new short film and any other project that we do, then please do go to our Facebook page and like our Facebook page. That's where we're gonna post a lot of stuff. Facebook.com/official Blue Dog Productions. And there's something new I haven't done in this show that I haven't got set up. I thought I'd try it without it. I normally play like sweepers and little jingles here and there, but I thought I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to keep it vocals only. It's better. And you can also go to our Twitter, twitter.com/Blue Dog Official. And with that, we are on time and we're going to move on. And since we're talking about this new short film, which isn't till March, which is actually a little bit in the future, we're going to talk about something that you wanted to talk about, which was actually this whole year now, this upcoming, like this year for Blue Dog Productions. Would you like to explain a bit about that then?
I would like to discuss, what kind of plans would you like to have for this year? What are your ambitions for this year, for the company, for the members of the company? Are you planning on getting more people involved with Blue Dog Productions? Joining us up with other people? What kind of things do you want to do? Do you want to do short things, big productions? Do you want to do anything else big? Do you want to just focus on small things for the rest of the year? Just general little things for the company and for the people involved in Blue Dog Productions to get their creativity out and maybe come up with new and adventurous ideas maybe for different things. So is there anything specific?
That's quite, I mean, it depends how you look at that. That's kind of quite a big topic you can talk about, and it depends what route you go down about how you kind of how you break that down into like little chunks, because of course trying to tackle one massive project isn't going to take a day and probably isn't going to take a week. It's probably going to take a few months, I would have thought, to tackle one big project. Whereas little projects, of course, there's more of them which can throw you all over the place, but they're littler and they take less time. So I think this new short film now, Wasteland, right? Now, when I had one idea, right? I had one idea when I was coming up with the idea for the script, and to actually tell you how these ideas come up, right? What I do is every year during the summer, it tends to be about June or July, I sit down and I think of all these ideas. I have a few days, few weeks. I look at things online, I get inspiration, and I get all of these ideas, and I put them down onto a document, and that's where the ideas of all of this come from. And Wasteland, I know wasn't called Wasteland, but the idea for this, actually, I came up with it last July. So almost a year ago is when I came up with the idea. And it wasn't until I think 3 months ago is when we actually started to develop it, because at the beginning there wasn't much happening. There was other things going on. We had people in Blue Dog Productions that we didn't really think was going to stay, and that was one of our big worries, because I had all these ideas, but the people in Blue Dog Productions at the time were starting to leave, and people didn't want to act anymore, and so I had all these great ideas, and I didn't know how to get them out. And so when I was thinking of these ideas, I was thinking like long term, and like if something did come up, where can I take it? And so the idea of this Wasteland is, I was thinking that after it is a short film, that maybe it could then be developed into something longer afterwards, maybe something bigger, maybe start developing it even more into maybe a feature length or a half hour thing, or an hour thing. So maybe that could be a project that we can do, possibly, depending.
I remember discussing with you as well about the possibility of this series based on a couple of things from here, there, and everywhere. I remember giving you ideas from a game as well, which I won't say right now because it might give things away if we do decide to do the idea. So I gave you a lot of ideas from that.
Yeah, I know. I still got that idea. I mean, everything starts as an idea, and I think some of the other things I want to try doing this year, I think one of the main things that I'm hoping is going to be, at least in my perspective, the highlight of the year, and I would like to do everything I possibly can to make it the highlight of the year, is actually going to be Wasteland. I want that to be the highlight. There is another thing I'm going to be doing this year for certain, and there may be two of them happening instead of one, is last year, August, of course, I released the cinematic film, which, now that was, I wasn't intending it to be called a cinematic film. In fact, I just wanted it to be something that could express color correction and grading. But now I'm thinking maybe I can do that kind of thing every year and kind of go to a different area and film something completely different. Like, but
Mm,
the same concepts. Like this year, go to Bridgend Town and kind of make a cinematic of Bridgend Town, or and then go to another
mm.
area and do something there. So maybe explore that as well.
Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting concept because it wouldn't just only be location. It could be based on weather as well. So, if by any chance we had snow, you could do one based around like how different places look with and without snow. You could do something based on weather where it's pouring down with rain and one day it's completely
Yeah, I don't
sunny.
know about that though. I think rain is a bit of a problem when it comes to
Mm,
filming because of course you can't just
the
go out and
equipment.
put your camera into rain, let alone putting yourself
Yeah.
into the rain. I mean, who wants to be walking
Yeah.
around for hours in the rain filming?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
see the
that's a
problem?
very good point. It's very difficult because not only can the equipment get damaged, but let's face it, the human body can get damaged. You can get
And
ill, and then you put things
thing
behind.
yeah, with an actual film, with a short film, I know Film Right did
Mhm,
this. Of course, you say you want a shot or a scene where there's like rain or something. What they do is they take it on a hot sunny day, but then they rig it up so it rains. They make it rain.
mhm,
So doing it that way, they can actually control if the equipment gets wet or not. Of course, I know you don't want that,
mhm,
but they can control the amount and all of that. So it's a lot more controllable.
mhm.
I
Yeah, it's a good idea as well.
maybe I want to go down some routes of talking to other companies, maybe do things for other people, maybe try to get new
Mhm,
people involved. I don't know, maybe try to do some interviews or maybe try to do something a bit like that. Maybe, and I don't know, this is going to be a bit of a push, maybe, and I don't know how well it's
mhm,
going to work. But this year, of course, we've got Wasteland. Maybe do another short or something. Maybe do like a little comedy sketch or something like that. But the problem there is, of course, Reese, who is our deputy in command of BluedogProductions, he's going away to New
mhm.
Zealand for 4 weeks. So he's
Yeah.
not going to be here, and that's during the summer, and that's a problem.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, because
yeah,
summer is obviously the easiest time for us to record and to do different things because we've got the most spare time, so to speak. And obviously, losing our deputy in command is a big problem. But you know, he is obviously going off to see family, as far as I know.
yeah, he is.
And family is a very important thing at the end of the day. So I'm you know, fair play to him for going to keep it. It's a big company. He's trying to keep up with this as well as keep his family involved, and I think that's a really good idea for him. So
Yeah,
it's great.
I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Hmm.
I don't. I'm not really sure. Like you say, what is the future for Blue Dot Productions? I know one other thing I do want to try doing is possibly marketing a little bit more. Try
Hmm.
going down that route a little bit in some areas. I think that might work. So
Yeah.
experiment with that a bit. Maybe explore a bit more of the music area here and there. I know right now
Yeah.
I've actually come up with, and this is a shock to me. And I mentioned this on one of our Twitch shows, and you was on it for a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And Reese sent me a message. He said to me that he's learning something on guitar and he wants to show it to me. Yesterday he did it for me, and it was
Mm.
on an acoustic guitar, right? And he made this piece, and it was amazing. And the thing is, he actually had lyrics to go with it, and he sung it.
Wow.
And he actually sung it on Skype in front of me. And before it started, I had okay. I wouldn't say I wasn't expecting like amazing results because
Hmm.
he always said that he can't sing and all that. And I think the way he did it, the way he executed it, was really good. And that could be
Yeah.
the thing. That could be the next project. And I know he's worked
Wow.
on that, which I hope to develop a little bit more. Because for me personally, acoustic guitar and piano, recording them and putting that in Blue Dog Productions is something that just really fascinates me.
Hmm.
It's all
I
music.
think
It's all really good stuff.
Yeah, I think acoustic and piano are also very probably the best ways to do either a cover or to make a song because they're very adaptable to a voice. You can have any type of voice with them, and it works incredibly well. So I think they are probably the best instruments to have if you wanted to make a song or to make a cover. They're the easiest and they're probably the best as well. So I think that's great. I think that's a really good idea, and I hope obviously that can be a project for us if it was really that good. Then definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So I'm hoping that'll get a bit more developed on really, and just
Hmm.
generally go forward. I'm sure you'll have some ideas that you want to do. Maybe we can talk a bit about
Yeah.
that later, and hopefully just experiment. But I think for now, I think I really want to I really want to focus a lot on this on Wasteland, and I want to try to get that up to
Yeah.
standards because who knows if it's. I've always said it depends where I take it, like, or what kind of results I get out of it. I've always said that if it's really, really good, right? If it's really good, I'll enter it into a film festival, and that costs money to
Mm.
do that. And I will enter it into a film festival if it's really good, or I'll promote it somewhere else. And what that means is it can win awards. It can
Mm.
actually get an award for the best cinematic aged 19 to 20 or so, and that's really good. So if I get really good results out of it, of course I'll take it forward. Of course I'll do more
Mm.
stuff with it and promote it elsewhere, and you know maybe develop on it, maybe get some other stuff for it as well. Yeah, of course I'll do that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Well,
Moving on then. Should we move
yeah.
on?
Go on.
Move on then.
Yeah. Move
That
on.
is
Move
going
on.
quite well actually. So I'd just like to say then, because we've got about a minute to do this, if you'd like to find out more about Blue Dog Productions, then as always, we have our website, bluedogproductions.weebly.com. That is where I upload everything. Everything you need to know is on there. It gets updated all the time. And on the main homepage, if you scroll down, you can see that we've got different articles and like brief articles on there. But if you go to our other pages as well, like our about page and our product projects and our gallery, you can find out more information there. More importantly, if you go to our projects on there, that's where you can find out about what we're working on, what our past projects are. You can also find links to those videos, so go there, and also go to the our work page, or our work page you could say. That's where we upload all of our mainstream videos. What I mean by mainstream videos is they're kind of our headline. That's kind of the main things that we've worked on, our best content that was done during that year. So yeah, go over there, bluedogproductions.weebly.com for more information. And without further delay, we're going to move on to our last topic today, since we are just about
Last
on
one.
time here, which
Yeah.
is actually marketing.
Last topic.
So I'm
Yes.
dreading this. I'm dreading this now.
It's like, oh, marketing.
Oh,
No, no.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I attempted this. It went badly. It went really bad.
Mm.
But I'm hoping
Mhm.
that because we've already been talking about our short film, then maybe this
Mhm.
will help it have a bit of a boost, and
Yeah.
hopefully you can have a little bit input of this. So I'm gonna start off by saying the same thing that I said to Reese 2 weeks ago, where it all went downhill. I'm gonna say it to you now. What is marketing?
uh, so marketing is it's a lot of things actually. You can't really just call marketing one thing, I don't think, in specifics, because it can be anything from advertising. It could be promoting and advertising obviously are the same thing, but you could be promoting a specific thing. So it could be anything to do with a company. It could be advertising a company. You could be advertising like we're creating now this short film. But it's not just that; it's also broadening off, and it can be part of like a entire project. So marketing
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
a part of the project. So how much money are you going to spend on it? Where's that money going? Specific sections. It can be based on actually partnerships with other people. You know how the marketing works between you. Do you get a share of what they do? Do they get a share of what you do? That's obviously in future, like way in future type things. If we were going to do that as a company, but
yeah.
yeah, I really don't think you can call marketing one thing. I believe that it's. I don't know if obviously I'm correct, but I think that it's personally, a couple of things in what it just is summed up in one word, and it's a very broad subject as well. It's not just an
Okay,
easy thing
right.
you can talk about.
If I make it a bit easier, then okay, let's narrow
Yeah.
down marketing for our content then. So, okay, so we've got this new Wasteland short film. I want to know what
Mhm.
your opinions are on this because it's a little bit.
Okay.
Some people have different looks on this, right? Is that you've got a short film that you're doing, you put in all this time and effort into it, and honestly, even if it doesn't get seen by a lot of people, right? Here's the thing:
Mm.
if you put all the time and effort into it, you will be happy with it even later down the road when it may not have loads of views. Like Flashback 1 and the cinematic film, they've both got around 300, just over 300 views on them now. And if you
Mhm.
compare that to some videos out there, that's not a lot, but for me that's a lot. But I don't look at the 300 views. I look at the actual video. The video is
Mm.
amazing. I like the video. I'm still
Yeah.
happy with it. But here's the thing, right? Is we've got this new Wasteland short film, and it hasn't
Mhm.
even been filmed yet. So we don't know when it's going to be released or what things are going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be cancelled. I'm hoping it's not going to be cancelled. I'm really hoping that it's not going to
Yeah.
be cancelled. But it could be delayed or something. But do you
Mm.
agree that I should start marketing it earlier now rather than later, or
Mm.
start marketing once it's released? Or do you think I should
Mm.
leave it? What do you think I should do with it? Would you get
I
like,
think the marketing
yeah, go on.
personally, personally for me, I feel like the marketing should begin before the movie comes out.
So like
So not to the point of where you're going to. So maybe a month in prior, you start bringing out like little subtle hints here and there. So you're marketed by, like we were discussing about earlier. Giving out the title, what it looks like. Start giving out little things here and there, sort of.
just to
Oh,
make
this.
people feel a bit more connected, a bit more involved with it,
Yeah.
and to
So
show
you
that
sort of,
you're
as
doing something.
Yeah, so as people would describe it, like sort of building the hype. So you would bring out a picture maybe of the main character with a quote above his head, or you
Yeah.
bring out a poster for the film, and it would give that sort of impression. People look at it and go, "Wow, that looks really impressive. I actually want to watch this. This is really drawing me in. I can't wait for it." And people start really, showing their friends, start spreading it around, and that's why I feel the marketing should start early on any project, because you start building up that little bit of hype.
Oh,
And of course, obviously, with doing so, you obviously build up the expectation. So the content obviously has to be top notch as you can be. Um, so but I do think the marketing starts early. The earlier, the better, in my opinion.
okay, but do you think that can also have a negative impact? Because if you're releasing all of this information about it and everyone's like really looking forward to it and they're getting all hyped up about it and they think it's really, really good, but then you actually then release it, but then it's not as good as they expected.
Hmm.
What
That's
kind of
that's
effect do you
obviously
think that
one.
would have on it?
Yeah, that would obviously be a really, really big problem. Obviously, if you the only big problem with marketing, obviously, if you started early, is that you build up so much hype that people are expecting this to be amazing, So, and if you obviously release it like you said, and it's obviously not as what people expected, and they're going to go, oh, that really didn't give me the impression I thought it was. It obviously, it can be a big problem. But that's why, in my opinion, obviously, if you've obviously got the image for what you're creating, if you're going to market something, you obviously think, right, okay, do I want to go overboard with the marketing? Do I want to make it look better than what I think it's actually going to turn out? So
Yeah.
marketing is not just a process of promoting something; it's thinking about it, and you've got to really think about it and think, okay, that poster suits it, because that's sort of showing you what it's going to be like. I'm not over the top. I'm not going over the top with it, but I'm not giving too little away so it doesn't draw people in. I'm giving just that right amount, so I'm giving myself a bit of expectation. And if it turns out better, it turns out better. That's even, obviously that's great. That's even better for the person creating the content. But obviously, if they give themselves too much of a high expectation and they don't reach that mark, obviously, it does backfire and it can cause some serious problems in some cases. So, you know.
Okay, yeah, okay then. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Do you think then that when you market something, do you think that do you think you should, instead of putting text up onto, let's say, a Facebook post or something? I mean, yes, text is very
Mhm,
important because it's telling everyone about it and all of that. But do you think images or
mhm.
videos would, like, people would, like, as soon as they scroll through their news feed, they see an image? Do you think they're more likely to read the information if there's an image than if there was just, like, information without an image? What do you think of that?
Personally, yeah, personally, out of my own, obviously, of my own preference here,
Yeah.
I prefer looking at an image and seeing what's on the image with little text. So, given a brief description of what the image is and what's going on and what's happening and certain little things here and there, as well as with the image, it sort of creates this good combination of, I don't have to read loads, but like they say, like the saying goes, an image can speak 1,000 words. So,
Yeah.
you look at the image and you think, that draws me in a bit better. It looks better. It looks more detailed. I can actually physically see what's going on. I can see, the surroundings. I can see the character, or whatever you're promoting. I think that's, especially, obviously we've got this upcoming Wasteland now. If we were to market it, one of my favourite ways of marketing it would probably be, take a picture behind the scenes or something
Yeah,
and upload it, and people would be like, "Oh, they're actually working on it now."
they're
And
actually.
suddenly people
Yeah.
would be like, "Yeah, it's actually happening. They're not just saying it; they're actually putting the time and the effort in, and it's working, and you can see that." And I think it's a really good way of drawing people in, turning and going, "Oh, they're just like me, they're just except they're taking the time out to do this. They're just normal people, but they're doing this, and they're putting a lot of time and effort into it." And I think when you give the audience that little bit of behind the scenes kind of sneak peek, you're sort of giving them that trust and respect, and you sort of turn and go, "Here's a little image of what we're doing. Would you like to connect with us and see what we're doing and act as if you're there? This is like a little part of what we're doing, and we're giving it to you so that you can experience it with us
Yeah.
as it's coming along and as it's in progression." So
So,
I think that's a really good.
so you think images are better? So you should have.
Mm,
Okay, here's another thing then. What do you think about, like? Do you think you should upload the same thing more than once or repeat yourself more than once? I mean, I don't mean like every day. I mean, of course that's gonna be
mm,
really boring. But let's just say you like uploaded something now and you uploaded that same thing 1 month later. Do you think people would get
mm.
bored of it? What do you think? How would you react to that? How would you react?
I think you do have to obviously change stuff up a bit. If even if it is just a month down the line, say you bring out like a like someone brings out a sneak preview, so like a 2 second clip of behind the scenes footage, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later they haven't uploaded anything for these 2 or 3 weeks, and people are like, "Oh, I really want to see something," and 2 and 3 weeks later they bring out the same thing. I think it would probably put people off a bit because they would look at it and go, "Well, I've seen this. Why are you showing me it again? I want to see something new. I want to see something else. I want to see some progression." They want to see. Personally, my preference would obviously be never to see, not never to see the same thing twice, but sort of change it up a bit. So, it doesn't have to be completely different and something completely new, but sort of have it maybe the same type of thing, just in a different scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, if you have like a behind the scenes picture of people working on the camera filming someone, you have that same type of setting, but it's like a behind the scenes thing. So behind the camera, maybe a couple of people having a photo together who are taking part and actually creating this content.
Mm.
And it's not, and then like maybe a quote above it saying, "Oh, only 5 days to go" or something, and it reminds people. Then it draws them in. And they're like, "I can't wait for these 5 days to be up to see what these people have created," or "I can't wait to see what happens when this comes out." And it builds up that hype. I think it's the same type of thing, just a different setting, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
if that's easier to understand the scene. So yeah, I think it does need to be changed up because otherwise it gets boring and it puts people off and they don't want to look at the same thing twice.
Okay, well, something I was going to do then for this new short film, and probably for the Facebook group as a whole, and maybe I don't know whether or not you would be able to kind of help out a little bit with this. I've spoken to Reese about this as well, and he seems to maybe agree with it as well. But I've mentioned it to you before about the idea of paying money to actually advertise. You see, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've seen the results of that, haven't you? I've sent you the
Yeah.
images of the results of me paying £13
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook to promote a certain post on our Facebook page, our community page. And
Yeah.
what do you think about paying money then to actually get things advertised and sponsor and things like that? I mean, it's effective, but what do you think about it?
I think it's
Yeah,
a good idea. I really, really think it's a good idea because it's interesting. I think that's the biggest thing for the audience is that when it's interesting, they obviously, like we were discussing a moment ago, it draws you in, and the more interesting it is, the better. So I think yeah, it would really be definitely a benefit and a good thing as well.
yeah, okay.
But
Well, what I'd probably do then for this new short film is I'll probably pay to a small amount to have it advertised. I was also wondering maybe if whether or not you had possibly £15 to actually put towards promoting the actual page
yeah.
on Facebook.
Well, I think that the promoting obviously either way is a great idea. It's going to get more people in and drag them in, and especially obviously it goes to specific people, doesn't it? Like a specific audience.
You can
And I remember,
you
yeah,
can choose it all.
um, yeah. I remember discussing with you. Obviously, you sent out like a form for all your members in Blue Dog Productions to fill out, and I said that for advertising purposes, I'd be willing to pay anywhere between £50 to £100 for the advertising purposes. Whether you use that money to like £1 a day, or maybe £15
All
a
in
day,
one day, or all in one day,
all
maybe.
in what? Yeah,
I
all
mean,
in one day.
you can do it
If you
all in
really
one.
thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it all in one day. I don't know really if it's better to spread it out over multiple days. I mean, if you do it over multiple days, you could potentially get
Hmm.
even more likes because
Yeah.
it's being advertised more than one day.
Yeah, and not just that, obviously you've discussed with me before as well. It's not just about the people that see the post and like it because of the money you paid. If they share it with their friends or other people say, "Oh, what's this my mates liked?" Oh, right, okay then. Then they like it either because their friend liked it or because they're genuinely interested. You can actually end up getting a really good combination of people joining in and really enjoying it. So,
I think
you know, I think
if you put £15 towards it, and I put £15 towards it, and Reese put £15 towards it, you could be looking at quite a large amount of money there just for promoting and advertising.
yeah, and imagine if Alana put £15
And
towards
do
it
you
as
know
well.
what? Do you
I
know
mean,
what's
that
great
is.
about that is that you put that towards it, and then that means
Mm.
people are going to see all of the content you put out, and they're going to share all of the stuff you do, or at least there's a high chance that they're going to do it. It allows you to
Mm.
interact more with them, with these people.
Yeah.
You get more comments. You know, I think you're in for a win-win. But like I've always said, to be honest with you, it's whether or not you're willing to do it. It's like Reese said to me
Mm.
yesterday that he would love all of this to happen straight away and everything to just succeed straight away. And how do you like lift
Mm.
Blue Dog Productions off of the ground quite a lot? And came out with just one simple word: marketing. And yes, it seems really,
Yeah.
really like drastic and like tense to just spend £15 or £100 or £200 on
Mm.
marketing, but it's like one of those like a win-win in some situations that you once you do that
Yeah.
people then start going to you and it makes you look better. I came up with the quote a thing yesterday. If you
Mm.
compare us to Lionsgate have got 1.6 million likes on their page, we've only got 35. And if someone went onto your page and is brand new, who do you think they're going to stick around with, the 35 or the 1.6 million?
Exactly.
And of
It's
course,
obviously going to be the 1.6 million.
and Lionsgate, they would have spent money to advertise all of that. They
Mm.
would have.
Well, I think any small company or business starts like paying for advertisements because it's the quickest and it's the easiest way to draw people in, and you get noticed a lot quicker, and it
It's like
builds up from a certain point onwards.
we learned in college, the pay per click.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so we've got 2 minutes
Ugh.
left of the show.
Oh.
How do you think? How do you think it's gone?
I think it's gone really fun. Like amazing. I've really enjoyed it. You know, I've enjoyed discussing the
I'm looking
topics.
forward to
I
listening
think it's.
to it back.
I've definitely got to say, I think it was a very informative episode. Obviously, we've gone into a bit of detail about the short film coming up. We've discussed how marketing works in a way, and we've also discussed what our ambitions are for this year. And I think it was a
Yeah.
really important thing for the audience to know, because now they know what we want to achieve this year, and they can actually be a really big help and a contributor to that. And I think it's going to be a really good idea.
Hmm. Okay, so as always, if you'd like to know more, again, you can go to my website or our website, BluedogProductions.weebly.com. You can go to our Facebook page, which is our community page. Just go to facebook.com/official Blue Dog Productions. Tweet us on Twitter at BlueDogOfficial. And as always, all of the links and all the information will be in the description of the video. And of course, the thumbnail will be just a little bit different today because, of course, we've got you instead of Reese. So I'll have to switch out his logo for yours for today. And yeah, I'd like to thank you very much for having you on the show today, James.
Thank you very much for having me, Ryan.
It's been really informative. I have enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'd like to thank everyone else who actually listened to the show today. as well.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, okay, we'll see you in the next Google Plus show, won't we?
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. See you soon, everyone. Goodbye.
See you soon. Bye.